From Francis Field here on the campus of Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri, I'm Pat Coleman doing my best Jim Cantore impression as the rain continues to come down. The remnants of Hurricane Isaac washed down the fourth quarter in the final few minutes of this 34-0 win by top-ranked UW-Whitewater over Washington University. UW wins its 46th consecutive game. They're the three-time defending national champions, but they did it tonight with a little bit of a different look on offense, with Lee Brekke coming back as starting quarterback after he quarterbacked the Warhawks during their 2010 national championship run in the playoffs. He gets his first regular season start tonight and completes 13 of 25 passes for 141 yards and a touchdown for the Warhawks as they get their first win of the season. Brekke looked pretty good on offense after a bit of a shaky start. He was he wasn't staring down his primary receivers. He was looking off, finding secondary receivers. He threw a couple balls that were right in and out of the hands of the WashU defensive backs that the Bears weren't able to control. But Whitewater made its living on offense both through the air and on the ground. Desmond Ward, after a shaky start himself, finished with 14 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown. Brian Gibbons, 14 carries for 43 yards. Richard Holder came in down the stretch for some relief in the fourth quarter. 5 carries for 42 yards himself. So 45 carries for 235 yards on the ground on the night for the Warhawks. Steve Morris got the big numbers in the receiving game for the Warhawks. 7 catches for 103 yards and a touchdown. All of that in the first half, as WashU got out to a 20-0 lead at the half. Warhawks on offense in the second half. Marcus McGlynn with a 59-yard interception return to put one score on the board, and Tyler Huber, who has been struggling a little bit with injury in the preseason and here at the beginning of the regular season, got into the end zone an 8-yard end around from on the handoff with 12:13 left at the end of the scoring for the Warhawks. UW actually took a knee on the WashU 17-yard line with under a minute left to keep the final score at 34-0, and with Desmond Ward's 108 yards rushing, he becomes the first back to rush for over 100 yards against WashU since 2010. Last person to do it against WashU is now on the WashU roster. That's Trevor LaBarge, who did it as a running back for Case Western Reserve University and transferred to the Bears before last season. It's just the 15th time in 131 games that the Bears have given up a 100-yard rusher. My notes are getting kind of wet here, but I will run down the passing totals for WashU because they're not pretty. 9 of 25 passing with 4 interceptions thrown. Dan Burkett with all 45 yards passing. And in fact, WashU with just 10 yards of total offense on the night after getting 32 yards in the third quarter, having a little bit of success, but not able to punch the ball in the end zone. Threw an interception inside the red zone on really their only trip. That back in the second quarter. And as we mentioned, Whitewater picked off 4 passes. Now I mentioned that Desmond Ward struggled early in the game. He fumbled the ball twice, lost one of those fumbles, and then there was an awkward exchange on an early handoff between Brekke and Ward that could have been attributed to Ward as well. But he rallied. He came back 108 yards. He ends the night with 108 yards and a touchdown. So that's the final here from St. Louis. It's WashU falling to Whitewater by the score of 34-0. This is my D3 report, and I hope to see it on D3football.com.